Welcome back, it's me, Lou. Okay, so for today's video, we're gonna, I don't know how to describe this. Alright, so some months ago, I bought this used King Randor figure. This is from the original Masters of the Universe line. And when I found the toy, it was essentially this is missing everything. It was just a figure by itself. Luckily, I found an armor piece that would fit over him. And I believe the armor I'm using here is, I want to say it's the Masters of the Universe Origins Jitsu Armor. I think. I don't think this is the original one, because I had an original one and it wouldn't fit over this body. And then I was at my Target and they had a Jitsu figure. And yeah, this is actually the Jitsu, the new Origins Jitsu Armor. But it fits on the original Masters of the Universe body, you know, pretty well. So that's what I'm using for King Randor's armor. You know, I was hunting around on eBay and just trying to find the pieces to build them up is super expensive. Getting a nice King Randor loose on eBay can run you well over $100. The accessories alone are super expensive. Like, just to replace his crown would cost me like upwards towards like 45, 50 bucks just for the crown. Likewise, the cape is super expensive. So for me, you know, just finding the bare figure in decent shape and just trying to piece together, you know, it's not that this figure will be complete in the sense that it's accurate, but for me, it's a good approximation. I've always wanted King Randor since I was a kid, but I never got him. So for me, you know, if I could cobble together some sort of version of King Randor that's my own, I'll be happy. I do know that they're coming out with an Origins figure. Not sure when that's coming out. But to be honest, I'm a lot fonder of the original toys more so than the Origin stuff. So when I was cobbling together this version of King, or at least my version of King Randor, since I couldn't afford a crown, I found like some Lord of the Rings accessories, and one of them was, I believe this was from I think the Frodo set. So this came with the original Lord of the Rings Toy Biz Frodo figure. It came with Sting the sword, and apparently this is not the correct sheath, I don't think. But he came with the ring, you know, the one ring to rule them all. And then for me, I kind of faked it, and I just kind of put it on his head. So, you know, until I got a real crown, this is going to be like a fake crown. I don't mind it, but I know some people thought it was kind of a cheap cop-out. But, you know, it's cheap. You know, I don't want to spend $45 on a crown. And then for a cape, I found this Toy Biz. I believe this is from the X-Men Onslaught figure. It's not the right color, but I don't mind. I think it looks cool. And the original cape was a cloth goods cape, whereas this one's plastic. I like how this one looks a little bit more dynamic. And then I found this shield and this mace. You know, it's not accurate to his weapons, but for me, it was just a good placeholder in the meantime until I found, like, you know, something I could use that was more appropriate. Which brings us to this video today. So in today's mail, I got this. I found this on eBay. There was a seller selling plastic injected reproduction King Randor crowns. He only had one crown in stock, so I wasn't sure if this was something from his own collection or if this was something, you know, he makes himself. But the price was super reasonable. I think I paid maybe like 13 bucks for a crown and a sword. Now remember, these are not the original pieces. These are just reproductions. The guy, you know, he made them himself. I think he made them himself. And then besides giving me the crown, he gave me a couple of extra freebies. And we'll take a look at those right here. And I'm kind of curious to see what I got. Alright, this is this garbage. Alright, so the seller on eBay, here is the plastic injected crown. I don't know what plastic injection means. All I remember is that on the seller description, he kind of wrote down how this was a much better reproduction than something that was 3D printed. if you're familiar with 3D printing, depending on the kind of printer you're using, if you're using, I think, filament versus resin, filament will leave the kind of like layer lines. Resin material, you'll get a much more accurate mold, but depending on the kind of resin you're using, the plastic might be too brittle. And for this, you want something a little bit more flexible since it's going to go on his head. But here's the reproduction King Randor crown. It looks nice. It has that rim on the inside of the crown that'll go on his head. And my biggest fear was that this was going to be like a very like brittle material, but upon, actually holding it, it's very flexible. I don't want to flex it too much, but it seems like there's enough give, so I could probably stretch around his head. So we're going to do that now. So here's my original King Randor. Looking nice and handsome. As you can see, the top of his head is notched out for the original crown. And here's my reproduction. And let's just gradually, carefully put this on. And not too bad. Looks pretty good. So my King Randor is with a crown again. I never had the original toy, so I don't know what color the crown's supposed to be. I don't know if this is an accurate color or if it's a close approximation. I'm not sure if this is something that I need to paint. But for now, I think it looks nice. And let's get my cape on here so I could kind of complete my custom King Randor. There you go. Kind of looks like the Burger King. So, the seller also gave me this. It says Taiwan on it, but I think this is a reproduction also. I'm assuming that he might have casted this sword from an original sword and just, molded it himself. Or he made them, like I say, what I'm trying to say is I think he made the mold from an original sword and then he just casted this himself, which explains why this is a different color. And if you look carefully, you can see the mold lines right there. And it's done in the same plastic as the crown, so it's a matching accessory. I can't remember specifically what accessories the original King Randor came with. I think he came with a staff, I think. And let's see if how well this fits on him. It's kind of a tight fit on his hand. There we go. Yeah, so you kind of have this brass looking power sword, and then his crown. Yeah, for me, this is a decent look. It's not accurate to the original toy, but for me, it's a good fill-in. I'll just wait until the Origins figures comes out. I think that's sometime this year, maybe. Yeah, so that looks nice. I could live with that. And the seller threw in some bonuses. I'm assuming the seller probably casted this himself also. As you can see, it's Skeletor's staff with the ram skull. But this is casted in like an orange plastic. And then there's even, I think this was from Fakor. So I think this is the Fakor belt. I think it's the same belt as Skeletor, but casted in orange. Just for the hell of it, it kind of falls within the same color family. So let me see how this looks. I'm just curious to see if this could complete the look. I know King Randor didn't have this to begin with, but for my figure, I just want to give it a go. The material is pretty flexible, so yeah, it fits, so It's a nice, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it on, but it's still a cool accessory to have. You know, maybe I could give it to another figure or something. And let's take a look how he looks with his staff. The staff is kind of warped. I could probably fix that in some hot water. That looks pretty cool too. I'm digging this. That looks nice. So yeah, my King Randor officially now has a crown. You know, albeit it being a reproduction, but I don't mind. At least he doesn't have that crazy notch in his head. So, alrighty then. So this wraps this video up. I just wanted to share that with you. So once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you so much for continued likes, comments, and support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. Alright. Just want to set this up for this is going to be the thumbnail image. Alright, I'll see you later.